Hi Leo, and welcome to your eclipse season tarot forecast. This is for the time period of July 13th through August 11th, 2018. And this tarot reading is going to discuss the eclipses that we are about to have, which is actually the second half of eclipse season. So Leo, think back to January and February. What was going on in your life back then? What changes did you want to make? What changes just kind of naturally happened? What people, fell away from your life those first 3 months of March? What new people came into your life? Like, really contemplate and think about that because this is very powerful eclipse season for you, Leo, because the start of this was back when we had your full moon. I believe it was in February, the Leo full moon, and that was a lunar eclipse, and that was your full moon. So something started then, and now you have the new moon in Leo on August 11th, which actually completes our eclipse season. So it's going to be quite significant for Leo. Also, and I want to point this out to you, I just recall, in my younger years, how there was always a certain time period, July and August, where life would just get kind of weird for me, and I never understood why. And now, looking back and seeing the different eclipses in past years, it makes complete sense. And I will say this as well. 2012 was a pretty significant year for my life. A lot actually changed that year. That year, the eclipses were happening in my moon sign, as well as the moon sign of my partner at the time. And we actually ended up breaking up the second half of that eclipse season, just as the eclipses began later in the summer. That's when our relationship ended. And I just found it significant that the eclipse was happening in both of our moon signs, and relationships ending and relationships coming back together is quite significant with eclipse energy. And then in 2016, the eclipse were in Pisces, which is my sun sign. And that was a very significant year as well. Also with that relationship, it's taking us like 3.5 years to break up. So that's when I kind of made an ultimatum just because of different circumstances, and we ended up parting ways, and that was at the beginning of eclipse season early in the year. And then as eclipse season is wrapping up later in the year, he actually reached out to me and we started speaking again. So these eclipse energies are very significant, especially when it's happening in your moon or your sun sign. So Leo, this is your moon energy. I'm sorry, your sun energy. If your moon is also in Leo, oh my gosh. But if you have a moon in Cancer or Aquarius, highly significant for you guys. Also, in 2012, that eclipse energy, that's really when I started making the choice to do exactly what I'm doing now today. That was like literally 6 years ago during eclipse season. And now 6 years on, here I am, and each eclipse season from then to now has definitely been shaping me and preparing me for this. So there is significance to it, Leo. You need to think of it as the turn of the kaleidoscope, that little switch of the notch, and your entire picture before you changes, your perception shifts. Eclipses take things out of your life, but also bring things in. Things come to light, truth is revealed, you are connected with your shadow self, in that moment. The Aquarius full moon lunar eclipse is actually something quite special. It's going to be the longest one in the last century, and it's lasting 1 hour and 23 minutes. So that's 1, 2, 3. It's a nice number synchronicity. So we're going to pull house cards to see which each of these eclipses are impacting Leo the most. So the first one happens on July 13th, which is a Friday, Friday the 13th. In Cancer, it's a new moon and it's a partial solar eclipse. And then on July 27th, we have the full moon in Aquarius, which is a total lunar eclipse. And this, again, is something special and rare, as it's the longest lunar eclipse we've had in the last century. And then finally, we end with your new moon solar eclipse on August 11th, okay? So let's go ahead and pull some cards, Leo, and see which house is most impacted by this Cancer new moon energy. Oh, look at this. So you guys have the 12th house. This is where, you know, your destiny, karma, fate, life plan, life journey, life path, like however you want to view it, that's connected to this house. Your dreams, your fantasies, your illusions, your spirituality, your connection to the divine, all of those things are here in this 12th house. This is the house of Pisces. It's the endings, the completions. So Leo, this new moon energy in Leo, the eclipse energy, it's all about this 12th house for you guys. So to me, that's more about things coming to light, you being able to connect the dots and things actually completing. We're going to put the Neptune card here, and just in case this 12th house is going to show up, you know, in the Aquarius full moon or your new moon. So let's see what's up with this Aquarius full moon. What house is that impacting the most for Leo? And with this, just remember, Neptune just went retrograde. I put a reading out about that, so if you didn't watch it, I highly recommend. And Chiron just went retrograde. It's retrograding out of Aries back into Pisces. And the fact that 12th house came up for you guys, that means there's going to be a deep healing, a deep cleaning for Leo in that all 12th house energy. And Chiron is the great healer. So there could be many relationships that you reconnect with, friends, family, ex-lovers, missed opportunities with like crushes or flings, you know, just things like that. You can reconnect with a lot of different people. Some of it is because you're going to have another, you know, connection, relationship. And for others of you, it's more for the final understanding and closure, that completion of that 12th house energy, so you can let it go and move on and move forward. So with this with Aquarius full moon on the 27th, let's see what that is doing for Leo. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. So you guys have the first and second house here, which this is like how you see yourself, how you present yourself, your image, somewhat to do with your self-esteem. And the second house is your money, your assets, your finances, your tangible goods, but also your physical body, more in like a superficial sense, not in the let's be healthy sense, but more like vanity and indulgence and looking beautiful, because this is Venus energy, okay? And this first house, that's the house of Aries. Chiron is currently in Aries, the first house, and has just retrograded and will be back into Pisces by September, I believe. Oh gosh, don't quote me, but it will be back in Pisces. So you have 12th, 1st, and 2nd. This is a big time energy for Leo. There's going to be a lot of transformation for some of you, really just depending on where you're at on your life journey. And then also that Chiron return, that 50-year return could be happening for some of you, and that might be coming out. So we're going to put first house and second house, and let's see what comes out for your new moon solar eclipse, Leo. Which house is being impacted by that the most for Leo? All right, we have the ninth house. Oh my gosh, total freaking overview for Leo. This is ninth house, broadening your horizons, either spiritually or academically or on a long journey. So Leo, if we have 12th house here, which is, you know, as spiritual as it gets, okay? And we have the first and second house coming in with this very powerful Aquarius full lunar eclipse. And then we end with the ninth house over here, which is spirituality, higher learning. Some of you are going to go through some profound transformation over this next 30 days, but some of you, I feel like this is going all the way like to like Sagittarius season or into Pisces season into 2019. Like this is big time transformational energy for Leo with this eclipse energy, which I guess I'm not surprised since this is happening in your sun sign. Let's pull some tarot because I'm really curious to see exactly what's playing out here in this 12th house. But as far as first and second house go with that ninth house, some of you might really be having this profound spiritual awakening. Like you're on this journey. You may have started it some time ago, but with this eclipse, it's really like putting it to the forefront because here is the 12th house, the ending of your old life, the old you, the old way of being, your old patterns, like everything about you. The story I shared for you guys in 2012, this is a perfect example of that, where I would say very vain of a person physically and what I looked like. I wanted nice things. I wanted the American dream. I wanted, you know, my boyfriend and I to be sexy and attractive and have things and have beautiful family and like you name it. Like, and I was an accountant and that was who I was, and I was pretty stupid if you ask me. Looking back now, like how empty of a person I was, and I had no idea how empty of a person I was. And then here comes these 2012 eclipses, and that's really when I began to change and come into my spirituality, and what I wanted out of life really changed. And that's why my long-term partner and I at the time probably really broke up ultimately energetically. Of course there's all the human issues, but ultimately that's what it was about. Is, you know, I reached my 12th house as far as that part of the journey of my life. I didn't want to be an accountant anymore. I didn't want this stupid American dream anymore. I wanted to understand the mysteries of life. Like my religion changed. Everything changed about me. And Leo, that is what I'm seeing here for some of you. This is quite profound. Some of you, this is like that deep spiritual awakening where you're completely changing who you are. Some of you, this is like you've gotten out of a long-term relationship and now we're rebuilding ourselves. We're restarting ourselves anew. Some of you, maybe you've been overweight or you've had some health issues and you finally decided, hey, I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop drinking, you know, whatever it is, to improve yourself, you know, like how you present yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself, how others see you. Some of you, it could even really be like considering like modeling or acting, you know, being out in the forefront. We would see that more in the 10th house, but because these are paired up and 12th house here, some of you, it's like you have some dreams of being a model, being an actor, actress, being in the spotlight somehow, some way. And through this eclipse energy, it's just like going to make everything like click in the right ways to where you're ready to reach for that. Like you have all the courage and ambition that you need. For others of you, all this changes due to like spirituality, where you want to start living and earning your money through some sort of spiritually based practice. Okay, with 12th house, first house, and 9th house, some of you could be going on some sort of long-term religious journey or retreat, even like the Peace Corps. You could be visiting a foreign country where you're really going to learn about their culture and their spirituality and way of life. This is just really deep stuff for Leo. Not quite what I was expecting. Honestly, this is probably the most spiritual out of all that I've done so far, and I only have 3 more after you guys. And oddly enough, you have 4 houses here, and not one of them are the houses associated with these eclipses, 4th, 11th, or 5th. So here with this 12th house, we have this King of Cups and this 9 of Pentacles. And then I'm just going to draw 3 here. We have the Hermit. Yeah, some of you, this is super spiritual. Like, you have to live your life from more of a spiritually based practice or way of being going forward. You can't help it. Because now look at this. We have the Lovers, and then we have the Devil. Okay? So it's like, spiritually, your spirit is just coming up out of you, and you cannot maintain any sort of superficial type of relationship. Like, it's got to be soul-based for you, whether it's a friend, a family member, or a lover. It's like you are requiring more. I mean, good God, it's 3 major arcana cards here, and now we have the Devil. So we're overcoming a lot of our self-esteem issues, our self-worth issues. You know, what we see when we look in the mirror, what we think our value is, even though this is about finances, I think this has a lot to do with like your self-esteem and your value. All right, I'm just going to keep going and then we'll come back. Now here we have this 10 of Cups and this Knight of Cups. And so on this 9th house over here, again, this is more of that like soul connection type of energy, that higher love, higher understanding, higher way of being. So if you have previously been a Leo that was just kind of out on the prowl, on the hunt, you know, you would date whoever just for the experience of it, you're not interested in that anymore. And if you were trying to be with somebody who was like that to you, where they were just kind of in and out, you know, now you don't care how much you feel about them. If it's not soul-based, if you're not vibing in that place, it's like you're not interested in it. You don't want that. Leo is going through a profound change. Oh my God. Soul awakening for sure for some of you. And, you know, wherever this could be, like the angel and then the devil on your shoulder, because here we have the Lovers here, and this is the cosmic marriage, and then here's the Lovers here in bondage with the devil. Okay, and the Hermit on this side, he's very wise, he's understanding, he hears the truth of his soul, he follows that calling over anything else. All right, so some of you, it's the balance of the light and the dark within you, which would make perfect sense with, you know, this eclipse energy. So this first house, you know, how you perceive yourself, maybe it's been in a very superficial, physical, material type of way. That's how you've been defining yourself, by the status of your job title, which you have, the house you live in, the car you drive, the job that your spouse has. Like, it's really statusy, like, look at what I have, look at what I've achieved. And through all of this eclipse, it's like that energy is really like dissipating from you. You're coming more into your spirit, and it's not so much about the physicality, you know, what looks perfect and pretty. It's more about what connects to your soul, what makes you feel at home in your roots, because the Cancer new moon is 4th house, which would be your house, your home, your family, your roots. And we have the 9 here. This is 12th house. So through eclipse season, Leo, you're just going to have a lot of epiphanies. We're doing a lot of self-improvement, working on self, like whether you want to or not. Like, this is just stuff that's starting to happen to you, and you're like, what's going on? It's because you are completing like this part of your journey, you're going to have a really deep change inside of you. And what used to really matter isn't going to matter so much. You want deeper things. You want spiritual connection. You want spiritual relation. You want to expand your consciousness about the mysteries of the universe and all the different belief systems. All right, so let's... Some of you definitely could be deciding to return to school to expand yourself academically so that you look better on paper, so that you can earn more income. That's definitely highlighted here. And with eclipse energy, it's like it just all kind of happens. You're just like going through the motions. And I love that here on the Hermit we have that full moon there, because this is the full moon lunar eclipse. All right. Oh, beautiful. Look at, yes, with this 12th house, we have the sun. Your perseverance is rewarded. And this is the solar eclipse, right? So nice, Leo. This is good stuff. Like, you're getting a boost of energy. You're feeling happy. We're completing things. It's not this crazy choppy energy that some of you have been dealing with. It's like we're finally coming in to smoother waters. And look at here, we have the unicorn with this good fortune and friendship. So again, this is where what matters to you out of your relationships is something quite different now. Before, it could have been about status and what do you have, and this is what I have, and you know, everything looking pretty and perfect. But it's not like that anymore. You're really changing, and there's nothing wrong with being like that, you know. We are physical and we are spiritual. We're here to enjoy the physical aspects of being alive, of being a human. So there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like we're having this shift, and you see the unicorn here. We want something that is rare, something that is unique, this beautiful soul connection. And with the lovers here and the unicorn, this could indicate some really awesome sex. This is where we connect spiritually, but we also you know, have this amazing passion and friction and fire that is between us, which makes having sex an amazing, out of this world type of experience. Okay, some of you are having that. This is like your best friend, your homie, but also your lover, and there's just a ton of passion, and we can talk about anything, and we're growing and we're expanding together. Some of you, it's like we are making big changes in this first and second house energy, because this is what you're seeking. You want to attract your unicorn, a very spiritually based connection and relationship. Also with friends too. This isn't just about lovers. This is about your friends as well, your friendships. You want something more meaningful, more significant. And then here with this 9th house energy, we have the dragon, which is a worthy challenge or dangerous adversary. Coming out with 9th house energy, those of you who are trying to further your education, this is like, it's going to be a bit of a challenge for you to do so, but you will be able to accomplish it and achieve it. All right. Strength and wisdom. Also, if this is talking about like the spiritual awakenings, expanding of consciousness, this is letting you know like what you're expanding into. You're becoming much wiser. You are opening portals within yourself to your soul wisdom that you didn't previously have access to, because what you were reaching for previously was something quite a bit different. And again, this is the most spiritual of all of them, Leo. You guys look like you're having the biggest changes at a soul level and perception of self as well, because of this 12th house energy right here. And you're going to be rewarded in this 12th house. So there's some good karma coming for Leo with that Sun card and these eclipses. Like, that's good karma coming back to Leo. All right, so overall outcome with this energy. Oh, look at that. We have Zen Garden, the inner sanctuary. So Leo, after all this crazy bumpy eclipse energy and all these crazy retrogrades and everything starts, you know, going back to normal as we near Virgo season and, you know, all the way through the end of September, this is where you're headed. This is what's taking place in your life. So any radical changes that are just kind of seeming to naturally play out beyond your control, let it happen. It's happening for your own good, even if it's like a little bit like, what? No, that's not part of my plan. Don't stress about it. Whatever is leaving your life is eclipsing out. It needs to go, at least for now, okay? It doesn't mean that it won't come back in at some point along your journey. It's just for now, whatever that situation or person is, needs to leave your life so that you can focus on yourself, on your journey, and make it to this inner sanctuary, this, you know, zenness where you're happy. I just think you guys are going to feel like life is on point finally. It's like things are going really good, but I'm talking about like September, October, after everything is normalized, all right? Some of you will definitely be feeling that way before then, but, you know, this energy can linger out like that. So, Leo, it looks really nice. Those of you who have been experiencing dark night of the soul, that's just about to end. You're just about through that. Your perseverance is rewarded. You are receiving the good karma, the rebirth of yourself, unexpected blessings to this second house energy. Also, some of you, this could be talking maybe even about like a marriage. Like you're getting married or you're deciding to get married, and because of that, like, you're really thinking about who you are. It's going to impact your finances, but I feel like in a positive way. And like you and this other person, it's really like you guys are balancing out. So any person that you meet between now and the end of the year, you have a very high potential of actually getting married to them in 2019. And for others of you, this is somebody that you've been with, and you know, you're deciding that now is the time, or they're deciding that now is the time for you guys to go to that next level. And that's why, you know, we have the cosmic marriage, and then the soul connection in the heavens, the spirituality, the first and second house, the 12th house, like, you know. So those of you that are planning on getting married and you've just come into this decision through eclipse season, it looks like a very beautiful and blessed union, okay? Any relationships, Mercury is going retrograde as well through this. Any relationships, I would say, that show up, you know, towards the end of August have the most likely potential to be this Lovers, Ten of Cups energy that you are seeking. It's just like Leo really wants to lay roots and lay a foundation, and what used to matter doesn't really matter anymore. It's more about like inner sanctuary, spirituality, spiritual awakening, and a complete metamorphosis of your first and second house energy and how you perceive yourself. So Leo, it's actually very beautiful and spiritual. You guys will have to let me know. Just remember, anything that needs to eclipse out of your life, let it happen, because it's making way for the new things. And you guys look quite blessed. Beautiful karmic return for this eclipse season. So Leo, those are your messages. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care.